So it's been about a week since the State of the Union speech, and apparently Donald Trump is still a little bit sore at his treatment by the Democrats. Now, not only did most of them not stand, with the exception of Joe Manchin, I'm looking at you, getting up and clapping. What is your problem? Especially since later on the Republicans went and stabbed you in the back. It doesn't do anybody good to play nice with the Republicans. Now, some of them who did not stand played Candy Crush on their phones, and the Republicans are like, oh my God, how disrespectful of the office of the president. Now, the president was in Cincinnati yesterday for a speech, and he just brought this up out of the blue. He said, quote, "They were like death and un-American." Un-American, somebody said. Treasonous, I mean. Yeah, I guess. Why not? Can we call that treason? Why not? I mean, they certainly didn't seem to love our country that much. See, okay, so if you don't clap for the president, well, you don't love the country, and you're being treasonous. He said that the Democrats would rather see Trump do badly than our country do well. He's very, very selfish. It's very selfish, the Democrats are. That's rich. Especially coming from the leader of a party who, during the last administration, said that their number one priority was to make the sitting president a one-term president. Now, this is all while Democrats are, of course, bending backwards to work with Republicans. Now, that drives me crazy because, look, we don't live in a normal world where both sides have equal validity and just approach the same problems differently. No, Republicans are way off. I don't even know where they're way off in the right field. I was going to say left field, but that wouldn't be accurate. And their policies basically are there to help only the rich and corporations. So, look, again, their policies help the rich and corporations and hurt mostly regular people, poor people, immigrants, middle class, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And that's not just me saying it from a purely partisan perspective. It's been shown that right-wing policies benefit only the wealthy and corporations, and not you. And so stuff like the tax cuts, for example, gave $1.5 trillion to the richest Americans and corporations. How's that supposed to help regular people? Oh, but don't worry, Jeff, it'll trickle down. It ain't trickling down. In fact, hey, look, there might be, you could argue that there's something trickling down, but it ain't wealth. Okay. There are other big policy priorities, the wall. Well, the wall would be a giant waste of time and money and actually would have the opposite effect. It would actually keep undocumented immigrants who do right now go across the border fluidly to go and some of them work in the United States and they'll go to Mexico to go and give their family money. And right now we're having net zero migration, which means there are more people leaving the United States than there are coming in. When you build a wall, dumbass, you're going to keep them in. Doesn't really do anything. You're just keeping those people in there that you say you really don't want. It makes no sense, but that's what they're doing, right? Now, look, I want presidents to actually focus on making the country better. Now, if Donald Trump, for example, tomorrow came out and said, I'm going to go for Medicare for all. I'm going to buck my party. I'm going to join up with Bernie Sanders, and we're going to get Medicare for all. I would actually give Trump a lot of credit because guess what? Doesn't matter. That's good policy. And not only that, but that it's, of course, incredibly popular with the American people. Now, if he protected net neutrality and he decided, you know what, I'm going to make the Dreamers unconditional, right? So I'm just going to go and protect the Dreamers. And then we'll talk about doing whatever border security issues later. But right now, my first priority is protect the Dreamers. I'd actually give him a ton of credit. But unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be interested in any of that. So this whole idea that the left wants the president to fail just because the country, or just so the country can get worse, is pretty ridiculous. No, I want the president to succeed at making the country better. I want him to fail at making the country worse. And if your goal is deregulation and tax cuts and polluting the environment and eliminating access to higher education and keeping out immigrants and all that stuff, well, then you're making the country worse. And yes, if that is the case, then I want you to fail. But that's not treason. That's called having a political opinion. Let me show you what treason is. And this is the official definition of treason. The offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance to, or to kill or personally injure the sovereign or the sovereign's family. That is the official Merriam-Webster definition of treason. Now, unless you see somebody do that, then it's not treason. And so I get kind of tired, by the way, of seeing people from both the left and right throwing around that word just in order to attack each other. Again, we see it to the left, or from the left, Donald Trump's treasonous. And we see it from the right, oh, it's the Democrats, it's President Obama, it's all treasonous, right? No, let's stop. Unless you're trying to overthrow the government or kill the leaders or hurt your leaders, then you are not being treasonous. It bothers me, right? And look, on Trump, if Mueller has the goods, and look, my personal opinion is that, yes, he's got something on Trump, most likely to do with money laundering, right? And maybe that, look, if he can prove that he did so when he worked with the Russians and all that, I'll definitely change my mind, right? But let's hold our fire before starting to throw around treason. We have turned that term into the new terrorism where it doesn't mean anything anymore. So let's not do that, okay? Now, if Donald Trump thinks that not clapping during the State of the Union is disrespectful, hey, look, you could think that, right? Republicans didn't clap for Obama during his State of the Union. In fact, let me show you an example of what Republicans did do during President Obama's State of the Union.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true. And one more misunderstanding I want.
Okay, you get the point. You heard that. There's Representative Joe Wilson saying, you lie. You lie to the president. Hey, man, that's like your opinion. Okay. I don't think it's true. But like I said, that's Representative Joe Wilson's opinion. Now, did President Obama go around and say, oh my God, how dare you? You are being treasonous because you, during the middle of my State of the Union speech, went and said, you lie. No, of course not. He didn't care about it. And yes, look, to be fair, a lot of Democrats freaked out. But hey, you know what? To be honest, I don't really care. I don't really care about this whole issue of respect and the whole honorable gentleman. No, you call people out for what they're doing. Okay? And look, Joe Wilson had an opinion. His opinion, I think, is wrong. Move on. Now, as far as Trump is concerned, look, I don't care about the snowflake president getting his goddamn feelings hurt. Don't care. Don't care. Hey, look, President Trump, if you want to be president, maybe you should invest in getting a tougher skin. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and do your job. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.